So I thought I'd put together a little video for those of you who haven't played TradeWars before. So TradeWars is a really super old school game that's mostly text-based. It's got these like really old graphics that we used to call ANSI, which was basically just text with some color here. So I'm going to show you the game, not the setup first, just to see if you are interested. So you're going to create like a login. It's going to prompt you for most of the stuff here. Of course, I typed it all funny there, but that's okay. I'm not going to keep this one. However I type things in, I believe it is case sensitive, so I have to redo it that same way. So this is just asking me which game I want to play. Like if you can see there, it says A, B, and C for TradeWars 2002, and I'm going to choose the one that says test because I made it just for this. So it comes up with the game, and that's the best graphics you're going to get there, and they're not very often. So a lot of the menus just look like this, that they tell you. You can go through the introduction, all this, you can read it all. I'm not going to do that. I'm actually just going to play the game and kind of talk about the basics. If I want to show what happened today, I can show the log, including the timestamp. This game just opened. I just opened it, so there's nothing there. You can read all this. This is just silly stuff. Would I like to create a new character? Yes, and I'm just gonna make a password. And I can either use the same name, the BBS name is the name that I just typed in, or a new name. So I'll pick a new name and I'll call myself new user. Yup. And now I start off with a ship. So it's a space game. You're traveling around space. You're trading. You're blowing things up. You're creating planets and like grouping together. So I'll just call this new ship. You can call it whatever you want. There's no criteria. Everybody gets the exact same ship. Yes, I want to call it new ship. So I'm just typing Y there. So what you're seeing now is actually a lot of what the game is. So the universe is divided in most of these games, and it can differ by game, into 1,000 different sectors. And they have numbers. Like this is Sector 1, and it's in the Federation. That's like a protected area where it's kind of like home base. It gives you information. There's a port here where you can buy stuff. There a planet, which planets are not common. This is one of the places that you can find a planet or you can make your own later. And this sector links to Sector 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's like its next door neighbors. So imagine like a web. If you were in one, the sectors right next to it are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You'd think it would be linear, but if you go to any of these sectors, you'll see that it's not necessarily. They go in all random orders. They don't go 1 through 1,000. So if I want to get to sector 500, let's say there's 1,000 of them, I can pick any number I want. I just type in 500 because that's where I want to go. And it shows me the path. It's going to take 5 jumps. So sector 1 links to sector 6, which links to sector 113, 141, 77, 500. And it'll eat up 15 of my 300 turns per day. So that's fine. I can just hit yes. It says engage the autopilot. Yes, no, single step, express. I can pick one of these. I'm going to say yes because what I like about it is it will move me as far along down this path until something interesting happens. So I'll hit yes, and it's going there. And now I get here in sector 6 and it stopped because there's a whole bunch of things here. Now I just created this server. So all of these aliens that are in red are like bad guys. And this guy here at the end, the civilian Nuta, he's not a bad guy. So by killing the guys in red, you can get experience, which helps you out. I'm not going to pick a fight with any of these. Right now, my guy is still pretty small. But what I could do is I could port here, and I can trade. So the thing about ports is there are 3 things you can buy. And if you look here, it says SBS. So I'm just going to refer to them as like the first, the second, and the third. So they are selling the first of the 3 commodities. They're buying the second, and they are selling the third. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, I need to make money. So down here you see all these choices, and you don't need to remember what to do. You can always hit question mark, and it will give you a list of options. I already know that P is to port. I've played this enough. And if I didn't know, I just hit question mark. Actually, let me just hit it. And it tells me my options. I can stop here, no, but I'm going to choose this one to port and trade because that's what I would like to do. So I'm going to hit P. and it says, do I want to attack this port? I do not recommend attacking a port until much later in the game. If you decide that you want to try to blow stuff up and get money, you won't win this battle in the beginning. But I am going to trade. So if you notice here, T is the default, so if I just hit enter, it's going to do whatever letter is there. So I'm just going to hit enter. If I type T and hit enter, it'll do the same thing. So trade, and it says how many holds of fuel ore do I want to buy. If you notice, they're selling fuel ore and they're also selling equipment, whereas they're buying organics. So I can't get organics from them. I can only get fuel ore and equipment because that's all they're selling. It shows me how many they're selling, and how many I have on board already, and what percentage that is of the total amount they can have there. Nobody's ever bought here before, so they are at capacity. This is all they've got. So eventually, if I bought all 1,960, there would be no more at this port, and it would regenerate over time. You can buy whatever you want. Fuel ore tends to be the cheapest, organics the second cheapest, and then equipment the most expensive. Usually equipment is the most profitable. So when it says, how many fuel ore do I want to buy? I don't want to buy any, I want to buy equipment. So I'm going to hit 0. And it automatically moves me to the next one. It says you have 300 credits and 20 empty cargo holds. How many do I want to buy? It knows already that I'm not going to be able to buy a whole lot of these. So it says, how many do you want to buy? 4. Okay, I'll buy 4 because I'm guessing I don't have enough money to buy any more than that. And it says we'll sell them for 262 credits. I can negotiate, but not too far off. If I go too far away from their offer, they'll just cancel the trade, and I'll lose a turn and have to try again. So I'm going to offer them 250. They went down to 260. I'm going to try 251. They went 259. I'm going to go 254. And so they agreed to the price, and I got experience for negotiating. I've only have 46 credits left and 16 empty holds. It says shut down autopilot and stay here. No, I want to continue on to my destination, which was 500, which was just a random sector I picked. As you explore the universe, you'll find stuff, and this is what you want to do, is just go around trading. So it's important to remember I have equipment on me, so I want to find a place that's buying equipment. So I just hit no to keep going, and hopefully I'll find another port here. There was no other ports, so I have to pick another number. Just to reiterate, 500 is right next to 77, 214, and 301. I don't necessarily need to go to those, but those are the ones that are right next there. I'm just going to pick another random number. How about 1, 2, 3? And it says it's going to take 24 turns. The reason it takes 24 turns is that the kind of ship that I have uses three turns per jump. So it uses 3 turns, 3 turns, 3 turns, 3 turns. Different ships have different amounts of turns. Usually there are ships that do not hold as much weapons and they don't hold as many cargo holds. They use less turns. The better your ship is, the more turns it'll use. Okay, so do I want to engage the autopilot? I'm just going to hit yes, and hopefully it's going to just keep going until I find something here. I ran into another sector. This is a very special sector right here. It's called Stardock. I didn't mean to actually stop here. There's only one of these in the whole universe, and this is where you can buy new ships and stuff. Every game that you play is going to have this in a different area. They're all different. So this order of how things are, like if you try to map it out, is different every single game you play. So they should never really be the same. So this location wouldn't be the same when you play it. It'll be the same every time you return in that same game. It doesn't change. It's different each individual game. So I'm going to port here and see if they will buy my equipment. And now this one is special. It's got this land on the Stardock. That's where I can go and buy ships and buy extra things that I can't do anywhere else in the universe. But I'm just going to trade. And it says, how many holds of equipment do I want to sell? I'm going to sell 4. They make me an offer of 422. I'll say, yeah, buy them for 450. They offer 426. I'll go 445. 440. Finally, they bought them. I get some experience, and then I move on. So this keeps happening. You keep trading. You get a lot of money. You can buy more ships. You can attack other players. You can not attack other players. The more you attack other players who didn't do anything, like who are just going about their business, the more negative your alignment goes, and you become more like a pirate. And then the Federation, the big group there, starts hunting you out. But you get all the money from doing bad things too. So it's hard to say what's better. You just kind of go around and do those. You can create planets. I'm not going to get too into it. I guess I could attack somebody. We could see how that would go, but I don't really know where they are now. Anyway, that's the premise of the game. Hopefully that wasn't too long. You fly around, you can make planets, you can group up with other players. On the one server that I have, 12 people can be on the same game at the same time, and there's also 3 separate games running. So if you're in game A, it's not the same as game B. They don't link up together. Game A is its own game B is its own game, and game C is its own game, each with different kind of like how big the universe is and what you start off with, all those things. So anyway, that's it. I will leave it there. Hopefully you will decide to play.